Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here. Just making sure, yeah, my little doodah's on. So it is really mega hot again. It started off the day, I didn't think it was going to be, and it seemed a bit kind of, and then Gary and I decided to, I had to go to the post office, and then I got back from the post office, finally got an order, which is like, oh, I could have posted it, but never mind. So we went out, post office, and then we went and sat in the pub garden for a little while, and the sun came out and it got really warm, but it was quite blowy there, which was nice in the garden. Couldn't sit in the pub, it was too hot, but the garden was nice. And we got back and it has got really crazy hot out there. So Gary was out there doing a few bits, and I said I'd make my videos and then we'd go out and I'd help him. I've got to hold his what he's doing. He's doing a handrail on the upper decking. So I said I'd hold it for him, but I just came in and he's in there, and I said, oh, you know, he said it's too hot in there. I said, okay. So too hot for working, not too hot for lounging. So we'll pop out there a little bit later once I've done, and we can sort of sit out there for a bit, and then when the sun's gone down, we'll do it's only one little bit, putting a handrail on. So yeah, got another order now. So always a way, you know, you just get there and post it off, and then suddenly you come back and it's like, you know. Not that I'm turning them away or moaning or anything. I'm a bit sticky. I've got a little bit sticky putting my and I've lost my spoon. Nearly lost my spoon. Not quite. This is the just make sure it's all dissolved. This is the high five, but I had this pack in the bedroom, and I didn't put the lid on properly, and they were all stuck in there and sticky, like they were going a bit damp, and yet there's no water got in there. So I don't understand. Maybe I put, you know, maybe my hands were a bit wet or whatever, I don't know, but nah. Strawberry and lime. It's a very nice one. I do have a tea, but it is way too hot right now. See, I have to hold this at the bottom because I've got a frozen shoulder. And it is using or kind of all the work I was doing out in the yarn van with those big heavy boxes. Some of them I've overfilled. Well, you know, I figure if they hold that much, then they should be all right holding that much. But it's lifting them, isn't it? Because they're the ones that go on the top shelf where they've got more clearance. And I'm fine doing that, but if I'm like, oh, I can't do it like that. So I know what it is. It's frozen shoulder. I've had it before. I had once on this arm, now I've got this one. And it's 6 months of pain. There's not really anything you can do. If you go and have physio and ice it and all that stuff, it still lasts 6 months. I had ultrasounds, icing, heat, I had every acupressure. That was horrible. Yeah, I had that. None of it really worked. And just for wait until it goes. Anyway, meh. It's only because I was doing all of that out there all the time, all that lugging and lifting them above my head and trying to get them off above my head. That's what's done it. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing a kind of a mass clear out of yarn, so that I've got an easier ride out there, because it's just too crazy at the minute. But so my latest yarn of the week, it's gorgeous yarn. It's really beautiful stuff. I love it, and it's never going to be one of the last chances. And you know, even if they discontinue it, not last chance in that, it would just be there and mine, you hear me? So yeah, I've got a nice sticky toffee tea and a strawberry and lime high five. Num 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 num. Oh, it's moustache. It was lovely out there today. It was quite nice sitting in the garden, and there was people that were uber chatty, which was different. We don't normally get spoken to by other patrons when we're in there, but everybody seemed to be in a very chatty mood, and yeah, it was quite unusual. But yeah, we didn't eat in there. People were in there they've been giving out vouchers for people. No, we're all giving the vouchers in, and only like 20% off. But there's been an awful lot of bad press about the place lately. Don't mind having a drink and a bag of nuts. Well, I don't eat them no anymore from there because I've been having a few bad reactions. Unfortunately, where they make them, where they, work on them, make nuts, do they? But you know what I mean. They are not too careful about what else they put through the machine. So, I've been getting some pretty dodgy reactions, so I can't really eat them anymore, which is sad. Seems to be less and less and less and less and less I can eat. It should be thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner in reality, but it just doesn't work that way. Very annoying. But, I'm going to try my best to find some ultra uber gluten-free. The only trouble with nuts is when you read the back of the packet, if it doesn't say gluten, it does say other nuts. So maybe there'll be traces of hazelnut, which is also an allergy of mine. So, I've got a bit. I'm eating some cashews at the moment. They're an experiment. They definitely don't say gluten on the back, or it could be traces of or anything. They just say other nuts. So if this affects me, I'm never going to eat them again, which is a bit sad, really. So I like nuts. I am nuts. Maybe I'm allergic to me. Maybe. Have I got anything else to tell you? Oh, I was in bed last night by 10 o'clock, 9:40 something. I went to bed. I was sitting there. I'd caught up on the soaps. I had one Corrie and then the day's normal Emmerdale and Corrie to watch. I was a bit tired anyway, a bit bored and tired. So I'd watched them, and then I just said to Gary, I'm going to bed. I can't stay awake. And I was really nodding off watching TV. So I just took myself off to bed. And the next thing I know, I've slept 11 hours. 11 hours. I did wake up early, went to the little girls' room. And Gary was up, and he said, "Are you getting up now?" No. And I went back to bed, and I went off again. I had some weird dreams, mind. Yeah, some very odd dreams that, dreams are weird, aren't they? But anyway, 11 hours. No wonder I dreamt, seriously. But I must have needed that big old catch up of sleep. Believe it, really. It's amazing. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's like, wow, I'm kind of caught up on some sleep there. Anyway, let's do the stuff before I forget. So I'd rather see today because it was Grogu. Yeah, lovely little Grogu. It's Tuesday for me, so that's my day. But we have obviously a quote. Their tortured squeals will send a piercing message to all potential challengers to your throne. 808 said that. Obviously, it's talking about me. Yeah, and I nearly knocked my drink over then. I knew that it was a dodgy idea bringing this in, but never mind. I'll try not to do that. And I'll put my tea over there because it's still too hot. Gary's joke of the day. Gazza's joke time. Da 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 da. Ow. Pinched my finger in my glasses. Okay. My wife went to her friends to see 50 Shades Darker. I went to bed at 11 p.m. She came home, walked into her bedroom with a leather strap in one hand and a chain in the other. I thought, this looks interesting. She said, "Here, you forgot to walk the dog." I'll do one more. I found a Chinese takeaway last night and the man said, "Hello, I'm Wang King, the chef." I said, "No worries, I'll call back later." Oh, Gary. Oh, Gary. He's a bad boy sometimes, but we love him. So the yarn today is more big twist, and it is the very last big twist that I have. Apart from the black, which I won't show you because it's the same as the beige from yesterday. But while I was in Las Vegas, baby, I bought 4 of this one. It's weird. Oh yeah, I was going to say it's weird how some of them are in different colour packs, but this is one of those sealable bags of my own. I think I got some Happy Mail in this bag and decided, wow, keeping that bag. So there we are, 4 of them. But I can get one out this time because it's not sealed. It's just that kind of seal. I've got a feeling it was those bags came from Glenda, Creative Grandma, when we did our yarn swap. It was a bit of a while ago, but yeah, I remember thinking, shame we don't have bags with those tops, because ours are just thin and, you know, you've got to get the groove in the right place, whereas that's a big old fat one. It's pretty good. So anyway, big twist value, 269 yards, 246 meters, a 4-way Aran, and look at those blues. They are beautiful. Yes, obviously that is why I got it, because it's gorgeous and it's blue. And does it have a name? 100% acrylic. Not the name though, is it? No, I can't. Ah, wait. Good grief. Pool time. Pool time. Actually, it does look like swimming pools, doesn't it? The way it's kind of... Yeah, pool time. I've got 4. 4. Yeah. I like the way Krista from The Secret Economy says 4. She says 4. I like it. So have I done it? Yes, I have. Oh, they're cool, these bags. They're called great value bags. But yeah, I wish I'd bought some of them while I was in the US of A. But of course I didn't know about them. Well, if I did, I forgot. Tea time. Cheers, guys. That's my last big twist that I bought while I was there, I think. I mean, unless I find some more, but, you know, I don't know. I did find a big... What's that? Yeah, see, I did find another big kind of... it's been on the floor. I did find another big tall yarn, but it isn't that. I'll show you that another day. Otherwise I'll run out of yarns to show. Like, right, yeah, like that. Like that's could happen at all in my world. No, it couldn't. Crazy thing to say. Anyway, I'm very close now to my milestone. I'd show you, but I don't know what I've done with my phone. But I was like 9 away or something this morning when I looked. I have no idea now. But yeah, wow. It'll be coming up. It'll be coming up. Goodness gracious me. It's cool, isn't it? I've got some yarns in. I brought some yarns in to do some giveaways. And I'm going to sit and batch record those at some point. Not sure when. But next time I get the opportunity to sit and just sit in front of you and talk, then that's what I'll be doing. Oh, look, Grogu looks empty. I want to look after the bomb. F-bomb. There we go. You feel better now? And the little alien. There we go. Now you've got passengers. Whoops. Nearly tipped passengers out. Grogu's happier. That's all right then. So, guys, a lot of you are saying that I don't really need to change my channel over Rocksteady's name. And no one's come up with any, that I've read, any alternative suggestions. So, yeah, maybe it will just become... Or what was it somebody said? And I thought it was Julie. Was it Julie who said just simply Tracy or something like that? I'll have another look. Because I thought, do you know what? That ain't half bad. And I said that to her. I said, that ain't half bad. I remember saying it. That ain't half bad. Yeah, that is not half bad. Speak properly. No. Oh my goodness, it is really hot out there. There's not a cloud in the sky again now, not even a little fluffy one. And I thought, because we'd had a few days of where it wasn't that great, and the temperature did drop to like in the 20s, which normally that's like good, but where it had been 30, upper 30s, it was like, whoa, where's it gone? Because I think, when it's really, really hot, I've got used to it now. I've got used to it. I've got acclimatized, and I didn't want the cool weather to kind of stop that, because otherwise it starts to become like, oh, it's hot again, isn't it? Oh my God, it's hot. We don't need to go through that again. We've already gone through it once, and we've now got used to the level. And that's what happens with me. I kind of get used to that level, and once I'm, it's all tickety, I'm fine. That make any sense? Probably not. But I think this country is a bit weird when our weather goes really hot, like a normal little heat wave for a week, and then you go back to like cold or raining or just, grim, and then suddenly you get another burst of it and it's just too much, and then you just get used to it and it's gone, and you get another load of rubbish come your way. And some years we don't really even get much of a summer. We might get a week if we're lucky. But this year is one of those long, hot summer by the looks of it, because it's been a good spring and it's been a good summer so far. So yeah, when it stays at that level, it's fine. It's just when it comes and goes, it doesn't give you time to acclimatise and be used to it. But at the moment, I've been used to it. If I didn't have the aircon, then I don't think I'd be really very good. Although I do have those fans that are really good. My Dyson fans are quite cooling. Used to just sort me out, no problem at all. And I could use them if I didn't have it. But it is nice to actually completely cool the house down. Really, it's a godsend, I have to say. But the fans were good. And I would have, if I didn't have it, I would have brought that fan in. I would have got my filters ready, and I'd have the desktop one in here, and I used to have a little one under the desk that would used to make my legs cooler, because it's still there, is it? No, I think I threw it out. It was a big tower fan, but it was supposed to be white in the day, that kind of off creamy white, or like a little. Well, it went really yellow, and why do white goods do that? Some do, don't they? You see that when you go really kind of tarnished looking, like you're all smoking constantly on it, and it goes that horrible kind of colour that like pub ceilings used to look when people smoke constantly in there. But we don't even smoke, but it still went that colour. It's vile, so I threw it out. It worked, but I still had to throw it. It was noisy though. It was very loud. It's just old. So yeah, good job they don't do that to people. I'd be long gone, wouldn't I? Gone a bit discoloured in my time and loud. Time to get rid of her. Oh no, surely not. Oh, my arm is really bad lately. This last few days it's been evil, and I keep hurting it. Do you know what hurts me more than anything? Putting my bra on. Seriously, it's when I have to do it up, and I do it up at the front, and then I twist. The twisting hurts it, and then I have to kind of this side. I have to kind of do this so that it doesn't stick in. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, sometimes the edges curl in a bit, and you have to do that, and that really hurts. It hurt me just then, but not as much as it does when I first put it on, because otherwise they dig in a little bit, and it's just not nice. But yeah, that's what hurts the most. And I could always suppose I'd get Gary to help me, but then I'd never get any work done. Because imagine saying, Gary, can you help me put my bra on? It just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work, Just saying. Anyway, on that note, I think I better change the subject. If you can hear that, that's the air ambulance just flying by. I can recognise the sound of the air ambulance the minute it's within earshot. and that's because I worked there for so long. It has a very distinctive whine. It's a jet kind of thing. It's where instead of having a like massive, it's got a rotor, but instead of having other rotors, it kind of blows into the fuselage and then out. So it's kind of acts like a jet, and it has a whistle and a whine to it. And I actually went in that. Can you believe it? I went out for a flight in it, and I wasn't even really nervous. The weirdest thing, because they all knew I was scared of flying. So Blaine, who was our pilot, was a Red Arrows pilot in the day. And he came over to me and he held my hands and he went, "Are you going to be okay?" And I went, "Yeah, I'm sure I'll be fine. I'll be fine." So he said, "Are you sure? Do you want someone to hold your hand?" I was like, "No, I'll be fine, really." And they made you put ear defenders on because it was loud, and you could talk to the pilot. And he said, "Well, I will be able to hear you. So the minute you tell me like I need to land, we will come back and we'll go." And I went, "Fine, I'll be fine. I'll be fine." And so I was up there, and then my manager, who was, they called him an officer in those days, just held my hand. "You'll be all right, Trace." I went, "I'm fine. Fine, Paul, I'm fine." Yeah, and we're really mollycoddling me. But we was, and they said we've got up there and we're flying about, and they both said, "Trace, what do you think of it?" And I went, "I feel like we're not moving very much." And he said, "We are though." And they told me how many, like 100 mile an hour. We went a couple of 100 mile an hour, something stupid. And I said, "But it feels like we're stationary up in the air, that it's not really zip." I think the closer you get to the ground, the faster it feels. But when you're up there, it just feels, because you just see the same bit of ground. It doesn't feel like you're zipping through the air. But yeah. So they did that so that if we ever had to tell anybody that was going to go up in the helicopter and they're going, I can't, we could say, "Oh, look, it's really, really is." But our trainer at the time, his name was Paul Newman, to be exact. And what would later become a couple of weeks training course, he would have us do like a 12-week. So we went up in that air ambulance. We went to all the every kind of thing that we deal with, whether it was the telephone exchange. We'd go there for the afternoon and see what they do there, and we'd go to the channel tunnel, and we'd go out in one of the pods and we'd see what that's like, and we'd go to Manston and we'd get in the fire engine and see how this huge fire engine looks, and we'd go up in a jumbo jet, not flying it because it was just there, and we'd see what they do when there's an aeroplane coming into land that's not dropped its undercarriage. You know? So yeah, we did everything, but now they don't do any of that. They just sit and learn, and that's it. You're off, and then you go third manning. And well, we used to do 3 days third manning, go out in ambulances for 3 days. I don't even think they do third manning, but they go and sit with someone who does the job. That's what I mean. But yeah, we had 3 days out in an ambulance, and that was fun. 3 days of that. So we did so much, and they do none of it now. I don't know any of that. And they cut it down. They said, "We don't really need to. This is all very nice, Paul. They don't need it." And his argument, "Yeah, well, I think they do. It makes them all more rounded, a more rounded kind of control person. But in a way, I didn't really even take calls. I was there to be a response desk dispatcher, and then later on a dispatcher. So I didn't really talk to the public that much. I did do it, especially if I was asked to do overtime, or occasionally on relief they would say, there's not enough dispatch jobs. But mostly I was response desk because there weren't that many people that could do that. So that's 9 times out of 10 where I'd go. But also I went part-time for a while and did it then, and I changed my job at one point and did it for a while. So yeah, I did do it, but just not very often. Out of 13 years, I think you could probably say there was less than a year that I did it, so it wasn't that great. To be honest, didn't enjoy it. Sometimes did. It depends, but it wasn't the job that I signed up for, if you like. In fact, it was the job I signed up for. Be honest with you, when I first saw the job advertised, it was for the call taken. And when I got there, my interviewer was the guy who ran the whole place. And he said, the jobs that you've had before kind of make me want to offer you a different job. He said, and he explained this response desk to me, and he said, do you think you'd fancy that? And I went, yes, I think I fancy that rather a lot. He said, well, if you like, I'll consider you for both. I went, yes, please. And he gave me the response desk. So although I did actually go for that job, I didn't get that job. I got a different one. It's weird. That happened to me once before, but in a different way. I was I was in London, and I'd not long left school, and I went for a job as a copy typist. That was the actual name of the job. And I'm sitting there, and this guy is interviewing me and telling me all about, because I was working for Belling Cookers, right? And he's telling me all about the place and everything else. And then he kind of told me how much the pay was. I thought, that's more than they said. You know, I'm like sitting there, and I just said, he said, you got any questions? I said, yeah. How much typing is involved in this job then? He went, none. I said, that is odd for a copy typist. And he said, oh, I just interviewed you for the wrong job. And I went, did you? He said, do you like the sound of this one? No. I said, well, yeah, but what is it? He said, stock controller. He said, it's a couple of steps up from a copy. Do you want it? I went, yeah, okay. He went, job's yours. So I was like, okay, no typing whatsoever. Yeah. I knew. I said, how much typing is involved? None. Funny copy typist job this, you know, like. He went, oh, sorry, I've interviewed you for the wrong job, but I think you'll be really good at this one. So, do you want it? It's like, yeah, okay. So, yeah, that was that. But, you know, still hated work whenever way you look at it. Goodness, I'm It's because I was sitting with too close together. It made it look like a giant cleavage. Why do I feel embarrassed about cleavages? I don't know why, because some people really like to have one, don't they? And I'm proud of it. I just think, oh my goodness, I'm going to go now. Embarrass myself. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.